So here we go. Series 10, Series 11 and Series 12 have now updated in F1 Clash. For the next 2 weeks, you are going to have a brand new set of track stats or driver stats that you need to get set up for on your drivers or cars so that you can perform to your best ability in Series 10, Series 11 and Series 12. So we are going to be running through everything that you need to know. We're going to be letting you know what the new series stats are, but we're also going to go absolutely incredible steps further. We are going to be giving you the drivers that I'd recommend using, the car setup that I'd recommend using. We are then going to give you our famous strategy maps, where we're going to give you your strategy, your boosts that are good around that circuit, and where to push, where to conserve, where to use DRS. We have got this full guide just available so you can enjoy this game better. Now, this video is going to be chaptered down below. It is going to basically be split into Series 10, 11, 12, so that you can jump to the relevant series that you wish to watch. Now, quick caveat, remember, when you come to this video, don't look at the part levels or the stats that I'm using. It's all about looking as to why I am using those parts and drivers. Obviously, I'm going to have different levels to you. You might have higher, you might have lower.
Thanks, Karun. We've got a new subscriber.
Now we leave the alert box on. Limau91, you are getting a welcome into the video. You never know when I'm recording, so welcome in as well. So we're going to get into this strategy guide then to go through everything, and we're going to swap over to what is now your Series 10. So welcome to Series 10 players. Now, Series 10 has changed, and it's all about speed now. You have got Australia, Jeddah, you have got Miami, and you have got Austria. 4 circuits of speed. But what about the driver stat? You have got race start at Melbourne. You have got Jeddah, which is tyre management. You have got defending of Miami and defending of Austria. So you've got 4 circuits of speed in Series 10. You have got 2 circuits of defense, 1 of tyre management, 1 of race start. That is what we have got to factor in. Now, we're going to cross over to what is going to be your driver lineup. So I would recommend on this one that you're probably going to be using Bortoleto, yes, from Series 8, but of course is a very good defense and tyre management driver. So for me, I would be using Gabriel Bortoleto Epic. Now again, it's hard to kind of partner with this. Now remember, you have got tyre management and race start tracks. So I would also go with maybe Esteban Ocon, because he's got good tyre management, good race start. He's not good at defending, but that's where Bortoleto is going to help you out. So we're kind of maxing both kind of opposite drivers so that you can cover all 4 tracks in this. And obviously there is other drivers you could potentially use. Obviously from a defense point of view, you could use someone like Max Verstappen, depending on if you're just coming up into Series 10. You of course obviously got someone like maybe Lance Stroll, who might not be too bad for you as well. Obviously won't be great at race start. Remember, Bortoleto, not great at race start. So have a look at them drivers. Stroll, Rare, Verstappen. But maybe even like someone like Alex Albon could do you a favour. I mean, he's not looking too bad over Bortoleto, for example. So you might want to use Albon over Bortoleto if you've got him at good levels. So it's just giving you the comparison of what you can use. Most likely, if you're joining Series 10, you haven't got Albon at good levels or even unlocked yet. So Bortoleto could be the play. Now, your car setup is going to be all about speed. So this setup here is the fastest speed setup that you can make with the parts available here in Series 10. But this isn't the setup I would necessarily recommend because it's low on qualifying and you're going to start near the back. For me, I would swap out Exhale and go for Aeroblade because that is going to give me extra qualifying and it's not going to take too much speed off, but it's going to give me a really powerful DRS. Now, I'm also going to take off Sabre and I'm going to use Vortex. Extra 10 qualifying. You can see our qualifying has gone up nearly by 20 and we haven't lost too much on the speed. So that is the setup I would actually recommend to you, but we are giving you both a full speed setup, which we've shown you initially, and a speed setup with qualifying. That is what I would probably be using because Aeroblade is a lot stronger DRS. Now, with that, with your Series 10, it's time to get into your strategy maps. Now, we are talking Australia first. So you are looking at a two-stop around here 9-lap circuit, and it's going to be a pretty much free soft, free soft, free soft. It's the best way around here. Now, you might have this circuit in wet conditions, so it's no surprise to see probably a 5 wet, 4 wet if you can do it. If not, it will be a 2-stop. Now, your drivers behind me, of course, you can't necessarily go to race start drivers. You can't change it like you would in GP. But the boosts, these are the best boosts at Melbourne. Street Shark, Firework, Timeless, Champion, Rainbow all feature race start and speed. If you don't have any of these, please go to a race start boost. That is going to help you. Driver stat is key. Now, in the middle is your track map, home straight for DRS. If you can't have DRS, make sure to conserve where it is blue and attack on the circuit where it is red. That is your recommended engine modes to the circuit of Melbourne. Now, with Melbourne complete, we're going to then take a look at your tyre management circuit first of all, which is Jeddah. Now, I don't expect this to be wet conditions, but we will run through it. You should be able to do a 4 hard, no problem anyway around Jeddah. You might even be able to sneak to a 4 medium with one of these boosts applied. That could be key. So we are going to be going for that strategies. You can do the 2-stop if you wish. Now, boosts, Eagle, Eternal Flame, and Deadfast all feature tyre management and speed. But again, go for tyre management boost if you don't have any of them. Your wet strategies are pretty much going to be a 4 wet, 4 wet. If you can't get that tyre management, you're going to have to do a 2-stop instead. But I don't think it'll be wet conditions. And then your track map in the middle. So you have got the home straight for DRS usage. You want to be attacking when that DRS is in play, conserving when it isn't. And basically in Jeddah, you want to attack the whole first half of the circuit and conserve the second half. That is the best way. Attack and then conserve here at Jeddah. Now, we're going to move on to both of your defending circuits. But first of all, we're going to be heading off to Miami. So Miami dry, Miami wet, we'll give you both. It's going to be a free soft, recommended tyre management around 70-75 to do that one. And in wet conditions, you should be able to do that no problem for a 1-stop. Anyway, if you don't have 75 tyre management, you're going on to the mediums. Now, the boosts, Rainbow, Voice, Tulip, Warrior, feature both defense and speed. If you don't have any of them, boosts like Gladiator, anything with defense is going to be helping you out. Now, your track map in the middle, that big first straight for DRS usage, make sure to attack if you are using it, and then conserve down the opposite. You want to conserve on the straight that you are not using DRS, and attack on the straight you are as well. Make sure to conserve where possible. So that is your Miami circuit. And then finally, we move on to Austria, your final defense speed circuit. And we'll bring up both sets of conditions. So, 10 laps to come. You can pretty much do a 2-stop, a 4-4-2 or a 5 medium. You might be able to sneak in with the tyre management. Even a 5 hard could be good. But a 2-stop is pretty good around here as well because you're using quick tyres. Now, wet conditions, it's either going to be the 2-stop with around 60 tyre management to do, or a 1-stop with about 80 tyre management to do as well. Now, boosts are the same as we just saw in the circuit of Miami, defense and speed, so make sure to use them defensive boosts. Your track map, 2 places best to use DRS, down the home straight and from turn 3 down to turn 4. This has got a lot of straights around Austria, so make sure to conserve on the straights you are not using DRS to gain that power unit back, because it is absolutely key that you go all out on that one. So that is your Austria circuit. Now that is your Series 10 covered. You have speed with 2 tracks of defense, 1 tyre management, 1 race start. And of course, it is going to be a speed setup that we recommend to you with a bit of qualifying in there as well. And of course, we are going to be giving you the drivers that we would recommend potentially, but if you're just joining, then Bortoleto is possibly the play as well. So welcome to players joining us for Series 11. Your new track stats are as followed. You have got defending being the key attribute for Series 11. You have got Monaco, Austria, you are then going to Zandvoort, and then finally you have got Monza. So 4 driver defensive circuits, but you have also got a cornering, a speed, a cornering, a speed. You have got 2 speed, 2 cornering tracks. So you really need to be thinking about a balanced speed and cornering setup. You don't need power unit. You need to be focusing on speed and cornering. Now, with defense being key, we are choosing Carlos Sainz and Oscar Piastri as two very good drivers to be using down here in series number 11. Now, if you are just moving to series 11, you might still find that Bortoleto is a very good driver for you. So you could potentially go ahead and use him if you wish. If not, you're going to be looking at anybody else with a bit of defending. So you kind of have a look through your drivers, depending on what level you have got. You might still want to be using Stroll, it could be Ocon. You've got to be trying to see what drivers are best on defense. You just need to prioritize the defensive driver stat here in series number 11. So that is why we have gone for Sainz and Piastri. You might even want to use Leclerc to get a bit more qualifying and race start from your driver and to sacrifice a little bit of defense. So they what I'd recommend. Careful Piastri's tyres, but again, for this series, highest defensive stat is going to give you the faster driver. So do please check every driver that you have. Now let's take a look at your car setup. Of course, speed and cornering is heavily featured, and we are trying to balance off them speed and cornering stats. There's no point going for one, because 50% of your tracks are speed, 50% are cornering. There's no point prioritizing either. You've got to go for both and balance off. So you can see Valkyrie and Flex are included from Series 11. If you don't have them parts, then you need to be having a look at something like a Vortex, maybe like an Exhale. You've basically got to try and match these stats off the best you can for speed and cornering, so make sure to check that. Now, this is the strongest lineup that I have found for your speed and cornering parts, but you can make alterations, but I'll tell you what you can use. You can use this engine mode, and you could use that gyro. But you can see you get less speed and cornering from the stats if you use them two parts, but they are possible for you. You could use something like Boombox, and then you could look at more speed. But again, you can see the stats aren't as strong as the parts that I initially chosen. So I'm going to be recommending that you do, if you want to build this setup out, use Flow 1K, use Mac, and that is the strongest setup that you can get for a speed and cornering balance. That is going to do you absolutely fine. So they are your car, and they are your drivers that I'd recommend in Series 11. Now we're going to get into your strategy guide then. Let's head over to Monaco. So 7 laps to come. It could be dry, it could be wet. I don't know the full detail which one it is yet, but it's going to be a one stop. I'd expect you to be running the 4 medium, 3 soft, and the 3 soft, 4 medium. If you are in wet conditions, 4 wet, 3 wet, and a 3 wet, 4 wet. Now if you start at the back of series number 11, undercut 3-4 is going to be very, very strong indeed. So you could go and undercut all the way if you wish. Now there is many boosts that feature these brilliant defending and cornering. You've got Handlebar, Cranberry, Reindeer, Hook, Movember, Jin, Sar, Prince, Downforce. But again, if you don't have any of them, try and find a boost with defensive stat. Now the track map, you've got the home straight for DRS, up the hill through the tunnel. It's a really a track that's not great for DRS usage, and then attack that last sector as well. Now with Monaco out of the way, we move to Austria. So it's a circuit that is already in Series 10 as well. So again, you should be able to now run a 5 medium here in this series with 80 tyre management. If not, you will have to go to the 2-stop. In the wet conditions, 5 wet is going to be your play. If you don't have that recommended tyre management, you are going to be doing the 1-stop to 2-stop strategies. Now, Rainbow, Vice, Tulip, Warrior are the boosts that feature in the speed circuits with defense. Again, prioritize defense if need be. Your track map, 2 places to use DRS really, the home straight and from turn 3 down to turn 4. Again, conserve every single straight that you do not use DRS and attack through the corners as well. Now, that is one speed and cornering out the way. We have got another coming. So we've got Zandvoort up next. And 4 medium is going to be your play around this 8-lap circuit. Nice and easy. And we've obviously been through the boosts that already feature this series. So obviously defense and cornering we covered off at Monaco. Now your track map, DRS down the home straight. Conserve where the areas are blue. Attack with DRS. But attacking the corners as well at Zandvoort. Now wet conditions, it's going to be a 4 wet, no problem. You might need to do a 5-3 if you have good tyre management, and also a 3-5 if you are from the back, undercut being of course key again. Now With that one, that leaves us one circuit left, and it is the circuit of Monza, a very tricky circuit. Now, you should be able to run a 5 hard, 4 medium, 5 hard, but you can also go for the 3-3-3 on the softs if you're using a powerful defensive driver. Now, in wet conditions, you are going to be using the one stop again, 80 tyre management, 4 wet, 5 wet, 5 wet, 4 wet is the best way to go around this circuit. Again, another undercut potential here in Series 11. I think they're all really good for undercuts, to be fair. The same boosts that we mentioned in Austria. Now, 3 places to use that DRS down the home straight and 2 more towards the back of the circuit. But again, conserve down the other 2 straights every time that you are not using DRS, because you want that power unit to be able to attack and make overtakes. So that is your strategy guide for Series 11. You have defensive drivers being required at every circuit with a balance of speed and cornering required on your setup. So that's why we recommend this setup, but just balance your speed and cornering and find yourself some really good defensive drivers to go with this Series 11 strategy. Now, welcome to players joining us for the big one, the Golden Grand Slam Series 12. This is where the pinnacle of players will reach by the end of the season, and this is what you now need to focus on. We have it nice and easy in Series 12. It is all about power unit. So power unit for Series 12, then you have got China, Bahrain, Singapore, and Mexico are your 4 circuits, all featuring power unit. So no surprise, your car setup needs to include power unit. But what about your drivers? You have got an overtaking circuit, a tyre management circuit, a race start circuit, and you have got a race start circuit. So you've got 2 race start circuits, 1 tyre management, and 1 overtaking. So that's what we need to consider. So let's cross over then to your setups. Now, these are the drivers that I would recommend. Alonso, who has one of the best race starts on the game, if not the best, at 99 if you maxed him out. So you've got to be using Fernando Alonso. Your tyre management should be okay, just watch out for that one. But he is the best race start driver. Now, what do you do about overtaking? Alonso's not got the best overtaking, it is okay, but he doesn't have great tyre management for the other 2 circuits. So that is why I am choosing Hamilton, because Hamilton has the best overtaking on the game, and he has pretty much around the 2nd best tyre management, not far off. So with that, I think, yes, Hamilton isn't going to be great at the race start circuits, but he's going to give you really good pace at the overtaking and tyre management, whilst also being okay at the race start track. Now, again, you can look at other drivers, but remember, if you took Norris, you would be getting good tyre management, but not great overtaking, so you're always going to struggle on the overtaking circuit. And again, Max Verstappen is obviously boosted this week. He might be in play for you. Obviously, check with him on that one. George Russell, mainly for qualifying, really, if you want to try and start higher up the grid as well. So that's what we would recommend. Of course, with race start, you might want to be looking at someone like Leclerc if you're moving up from Series 11 to Series 12. That is also a very good option for you. Gasly, not too bad as well if you want to use Pierre Gasly from coming up to Series 12. Now, your car setup is going to be all about the power unit. As you know, I don't like a full power unit setup, so my decision is to play the Flex XL as my front wing rather than the front wing of Curler. So again, you could run full power unit, and that is what your setup would look like, but I just have a preference to take a little bit more cornering at circuits and go for flex. That is why I run that strategy. You can run either, but that is what I would recommend. Now, if you're just moving up to Series 12 and you don't have Nexus or Turbojet, you are simply going to have to find yourself the best power unit part. So you might want to be looking at who's got the least amount of reduction. So you might want to be looking at something like Reactor. And then you might want to be looking at probably Gyro, I think, is the next best without power unit. And what you can do is just flick through and find out which ones are best on your power unit stat. And you can see there, again, 6 for 8 qualifying, I'm not going to use it. So that is probably what you'd be running if you aren't using it. But it's all about power unit, absolutely key. Now, let's get into your strategy maps for Series 12 and cross over to China. and it is 7 laps to come. You should be able to run the 4 medium, 3 soft around here. 3 soft, 4 medium. And in wet conditions, the 4 wet, 3 wet, and the 3 wet, 4 wet strategies, your tyre management should be far enough to get those strategies. Now, the boosts: Unstoppable, Ghoul Fuel, Dragon, Rooster, Glitz, Skull, Impact, Taurus all feature Overtaking and Power Unit. If you don't have any of them, Overtaking boost is going to be your best wherever you can find it. Now, DRS at China down the back straight is absolutely key. Obviously, use it and make sure you're pushing. You can use it down the home straight as well. With Power Unit, you should be dominating this week. So China covered off nicely for you. Next up then, we have the circuit of Bahrain. So let's head off to Bahrain. I expect dry conditions around here, but you never know. You should be able to run a 4 medium, 4 medium, even up to a 4 soft, 4 soft around Bahrain. 80 tyre management required for the mediums, 90 tyre management required for the softs. Now, in wet conditions, we'll give you it anyway. It's a 4 wet, 4 wet. And if you can undercut, overcut with better tyre management, then of course, great. Now, with that in mind, your boosts for tyre management and power unit: Frost, Pretzel, Butterfly, Dragon, Iron Force, Deadfast, Surf, Instinct, Self-Control all feature tyre management and power unit. If you don't have any of them, find yourself a tyre management boost to get basically a better ability around the track, a faster car. So, home straight for DRS, also the back straight, very, very good. But again, as we always say, conserve on the straights that you are not using DRS. Now, we head to your 2 race start tracks. We head to Singapore. 6 laps and race start drivers, of course, this is where the 2 of them come in handy. So you can do a 2 soft, 2 soft, 2 soft with about 75, 80 tyre management, a little bit of conserve in there. You can do a 3 medium as well. If you want to be really safe, you can use the hards. Now, we'll obviously just quickly show you the wet conditions. 3 wet, 3 wet, I'd expect you to be running here in this series. Now, boosts: Surf, Frost, Gladiator, Rooster, Instinct all feature race start power unit, and they are going to be the same for the next circuit as well of Mexico. Now, track map: home straight for DRS, the big straight again as you come to the first sector, and in the last sector there is actually a good place to use DRS, so you can use it on any of the 3 blue spots, but make sure if you're not using DRS you are conserving, because you want to attack through the corners. That is your best place of overtaking. And then finally we head off to Mexico. Could be dry or wet conditions, I am not 100% sure yet. 9 laps, but you can run a 3 soft, 3 soft, 3 soft. That is very good around this circuit. But if not, you can run the 5 medium, 4 softs if you've got 90 tyre management. If not, and you want to do a hard start, literally, you can go 5 hard, 4 medium with lower tyre management. But 3 soft, 3 soft, 3 soft is very quick. Soft tyres are good around here. Now, it's the same boost that we saw in Singapore, but in wet conditions. Let's just clarify: 5 wet, 4 wet with the tyre management of 90. You might need to do a 2-stop if you can't get that tyre management. Maybe a tyre management race start boost is going to help you. So, the boosts, of course: tyre management, Surf, Frost, all really good. Instinct give you extra tyres to be able to get them strategies as well. If not, find yourself a race start boost. Home straight for DRS, that big long straight, make sure you attack in. By the way, if you're attacking with your red engine mode, your driver is taking a more aggressive line and aggressive approach. You can also use it from turn 3 to turn 4, where it is good for the DRS as well. So again, conserve down that big straight if you don't have DRS, because you'll get some good speed back when you're attacking through the corners. So that is your strategy selection for your Series 12. You have power unit across all 4 circuits. You have 2 race start tracks as well as a tyre management and overtaking. And we would recommend, of course, that you go to the best power unit setup you can get, but without maybe taking curler and instead taking flex. So that would be my ideal situation that you would be running. That setup, and the drivers, of course, that is what I would recommend. So good luck in your Series 10, 11 and 12. Hopefully this has been absolutely vital to your information, and we are setting you up for the next 2 weeks perfectly so that you can keep coming back and looking at all the strategies for each circuit to try and make sure that you smash it and you get ahead of everybody else who's not watching, because they are going to be struggling until they see your setup.